Hello and welcome to the CBV podcast.
Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great day today. We have 9 topics to cover, including Johnny Depp leaving Fantastic Beasts 3, Joker getting a new look in the Justice League Snyder cut, and a new Sharkboy Lavagirl Netflix movie, as well as much more. If you'd like to skip to a topic that interests you most, then you will find all the relevant timecodes provided in the description below. But for now, let's start with our first topic of the day, and that is Johnny Depp is leaving Fantastic Beasts. If you're not aware, Johnny Depp and his wife Amber Heard are currently going through some court cases regarding their abusive relationship, which I'm not going to get into as, we weren't in the room when all this occurred, so we can't know for sure what was going on between them, and I only really want to focus on how this affects the franchise itself. But regardless, these court cases are casting a bit of a shadow over the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and as a result, Johnny Depp has been fired from the third movie, which has been making fans wonder, are they going to be continuing making these movies now that one of their big stars is no longer going to be playing the villain? Well, there has been some recent confirmation now that Warner Brothers are actually in talks with Mads Mikkelsen to replace Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. Now, as much as I felt it's a shame that we won't be able to see Johnny Depp continue this role, as I felt he was actually very entertaining to watch in Crimes of Grindelwald, Mads Mikkelsen is actually a really exciting actor to take over, and I really can't think of anyone else who would be a better choice to take over from Johnny Depp. This is probably the first time I've ever been excited to hear the news of an actor taking over someone else's role, and the reason for that is I can really see Mads Mikkelsen bringing a lot to the character of Grindelwald. Mads Mikkelsen is an actor who has always brought a lot of humanity and complexity to his performances with all the villains he's played in past films such as Casino Royale and Doctor Strange. The villains he plays never feel two-dimensional. They always feel fleshed out in the way that he portrays them. So the idea of Mads taking over to play Grindelwald really puts a smile on my face, as he could bring so much to that role. He's one of those actors that can feel very otherworldly, plus he's already had experience playing a villain who is from a world of magic, as he played Caecilius in Doctor Strange. One thing I do hope is that if Warner Brothers do end up making a deal and getting Mads Mikkelsen officially onto the project, that they don't try to get him to imitate what Johnny Depp was already doing with the character. If we have to see someone else play this role, then I would much prefer to see Mads Mikkelsen bring his interpretation through his performance, as it would feel weird having an actor as amazing as him to just imitate someone else's performance. I actually think he could elevate what Johnny Depp already brought to the character, and I'd still be happy if they, even made some adjustments to his look just to suit Mikkelsen's interpretation better. And don't forget, it's not like we haven't already seen something like this occur in the Harry Potter movies, as Dumbledore has been portrayed by 2 actors across 8 films, and although they did feel like different Dumbledores at times in their approach to the character, at the core of their performances, they both did still feel like they were bringing the spirit of Dumbledore to life, so I'm sure Mikkelsen could do the same thing after Depp's performance for Grindelwald. Also, Grindelwald is a character that we've seen change his appearance multiple times in the Fantastic Beasts films, so who's to say that he wouldn't just do it again and change from looking like Depp to Mikkelsen? Overall, there's a lot of potential here, and I'm so curious and excited to see how they handle this in the third film. What do you guys think, though? Would you be excited to see Mads Mikkelsen take over as Grindelwald, or is there another actor you think would be a better choice? That's all my thoughts, though, that I have for this, so let's move on to topic number 2, and that is A Quiet Place is getting a spin-off movie. Jeff Nichols has been hired as the writer and director for this spin-off film, which I'm not sure how to feel about, just because John Krasinski has been the director and writer and stars for the first 2 movies, and if the unreleased sequel, A Quiet Place Part 2, is as good as people are saying it is, then I would have actually preferred him to continue building this universe in the spin-off, as it's kind of like his baby, basically. But who knows, if this film is focusing on new characters in a new storyline for a spin-off, then maybe having a different writer and director is actually a good way to make these connected movies feel very different, or not very different, but different enough to have their own identities in the same universe, much like how directors for Marvel movies are all different. They all helm their own sort of projects to build up those aspects of that universe. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a good thing. I'm not too familiar with Jeff Nichols. I'm not familiar with his work, as the only directed film of his I have seen is Mud, which stars Matthew McConaughey, and that was a very character-driven movie, which is actually one of the big reasons A Quiet Place is quite enjoyable, is because of the character relationships and dynamics in this world. So if anyone had to take over with a spin-off, and on that reason, it doesn't actually seem like a bad choice. The fact that a spin-off movie is in development before Quiet Place Part 2 has even been released for the general public to watch shows that the studio has a lot of confidence in how good A Quiet Place Part 2 really is. The first film was so good, and it just stood on its own really well. But it did it so well that I never really wanted to see a sequel in the first place, to be honest, just because I loved how the first one ended and how it was left to our imaginations to assume what happened next after the film cuts to black. And I'm not too sure that I want to know how this invasion began, because I feel like it would never live up to what I imagined happened. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there's a lot that I would enjoy seeing with this world being expanded, but right now I'm pretty happy just to stick with only seeing the first Quiet Place movie, just based on how well that movie was made and how it didn't over-explain everything. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited that the studio is continuing to expand this world through a spin-off movie? I'm still mixed on it, but I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Let's move on to topic number 3, and that is Joker is getting a new look in the Snyder Cut. It has been announced that Jared Leto's Joker will be getting a new look for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. You can actually watch Grace Randolph doing a second interview with Zack Snyder about the new cut of the film on her YouTube channel Beyond the Trailer. And in this interview, it's mentioned that Joker will be given a new look, and Grace has actually mentioned that she has seen some screenshots and actually described the design as video game level good. And Zack Snyder in the interview also describes the new look as a very road-weary Joker. These comments are making me think that we will actually be getting something like an apocalyptic version of the Joker, living in the alien invasion, which is something that we haven't seen before outside of designs that I remember from video game cutscenes, such as the look of Joker in the DC Universe Online cinematic trailer, where he's wearing goggles, combat boots, and a bulletproof vest with a painted target on his back. So I'm expecting to see a look that is something along those lines. But actually, I'm also expecting to see a look that matches the style used for Batman in his apocalyptic nightmare sequence in Batman v Superman, where he is wearing goggles, a bandana, and a long trench coat. I should point out, though, that of course Joker never appeared in the original Justice League that was released in cinemas, so it'll be very interesting to see how much Snyder uses Joker in his official cut of the film. Overall, I'm very excited to see what the design is and how Joker will fit into Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. Let me know what you think, though. Are you happy that Jared Leto will have a new look as Joker in Snyder's cut of Justice League, or would you just have rather preferred that they just didn't use Joker at all? Let's move on to topic number 4. No CGI will be used for Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther 2. This is very good news for me. I'm not a big fan of actors being recreated with CGI just to continue elements of a film. So it's good to hear that they won't be making a computer-generated Chadwick Boseman to sort of explain where he's going to go in the future of Black Panther 2. Because if you didn't know, the actor who plays Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, unfortunately he passed away from cancer, which was very sad and very shocking, as he must have been going through treatment while he was acting as Black Panther, which I can't even imagine the toll that would have taken on his body, getting in great shape while getting treatment for it. So it was very sad news. It was very devastating. But I'm really happy to hear that they won't be recreating him with CGI. I think that just would have looked too strange. It would have been too distracting if you were aware that the actor had passed away. It just would have been very weird. And I don't know if it would have felt a little bit disrespectful, because he brought so much to that performance of that character that I wouldn't want to see that recreated on a computer. It's good that we got confirmation that they won't be doing that, but it does make me wonder, how are you going to sort of explain where that version of the character is? Like, will you just be recasting him? Again, I hope they don't recast him, because he is iconic now to the character, so I don't want to see someone else play that version of Black Panther. You can hand the Black Panther costume over to another character in the Marvel Universe, like another person in Wakanda, but I don't want someone to play the exact same person that Chadwick Boseman was playing. I want to see a different character take on the mantle of Black Panther. I don't want to see another actor just take on from where Chadwick Boseman left off. So I'm still very curious to see where that goes. And, even though they're not using a CGI Chadwick Boseman for the film, I see no reason why maybe they couldn't use a CGI Black Panther. So we don't actually see Boseman's face, but, maybe in the opening of the film, we see Black Panther, who is indicated to be Chadwick Boseman, and maybe something happens in the opening that explains why Chadwick Boseman isn't going to be in the rest of the film, in the future films. So I would be open to seeing a CGI Black Panther, taking down someone in the opening of the film, and then we never see his face because something takes a left turn, and that somehow explains why he's not going to be in the future movies. But I'd also be open to the fact that maybe they just acknowledge that this character isn't around anymore. I don't know. It's a really difficult situation story-wise as well to figure out what you're going to do, because you want to honor the character, you want to honor Chadwick Boseman's performance as that character. You want to be very careful how you approach it. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with Black Panther 2 without this amazing actor in the role anymore. Let me know what you guys think. Are you relieved that they're not going to be using a CGI Chadwick Boseman? Do you have any ideas for what you would like to see on how they handle this situation for the sequel? It'll be very interesting to see your guys' thoughts. Okay, let's move on to topic number 5, which is Sylvester Stallone is going to appear in the Suicide Squad. The director of the Suicide Squad, James Gunn, tweeted a photo about working with Sylvester Stallone for the film, and his tweet says the following: "Always love working with my friend, the Sly Stallone, and our work today on the Suicide Squad was no exception. Despite Sly being an iconic movie star, most people still don't have any idea what an amazing actor this guy is." So that was the quote, and then he's posted a photo of him and Stallone in a bar. So we have official confirmation that we can expect to see Stallone appear in the film. Whether or not he will be a large role or just a small cameo is unclear, as the way James Gunn has written his tweet, it could be read that they've only worked that one day, and he just had a great time working that one day with him, or it could be read that he was just tweeting about that particular day with Stallone among multiple days of working with him. So who knows? They have worked together before on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so it does make sense that Stallone would be up for working with James Gunn again. I could easily imagine that Stallone would appear in the film as a cameo for maybe an end credit scene to set up the next film, or just play it off as a joke. But my mind immediately thought of how crazy it would be for Stallone to play one rumored character in particular that may appear in the film. I have seen some speculation with some screenshot evidence that can sort of back that up, that apparently there will be this sort of starfish villain character that may appear in the film. I'm not really familiar with who this character is, but it sounds bonkers enough to be true, because James Gunn is very good at handling weird characters. So I thought, how weird would it be, and kind of amazing, if Sylvester Stallone, with his iconic voice, was actually working on the film to voice act for this starfish villain. Like, that would be so weird and so out of Stallone's character types that I think that would be kind of brilliant and hilarious. So at the minute, I'm thinking, if it's not a cameo, I feel like James Gunn could do something weird like that. It would be crazy to see Stallone voice this sort of rumored alien starfish villain that may appear in the movie. So that would be awesome. That would be so weird and so awesome. But regardless, I'm sure I'll be happy with whatever he's using Stallone for. Let me know what you guys think, though. Are you excited to see that Sylvester Stallone is going to appear in the Suicide Squad? I certainly am. So on that note, let's move on to topic number 6, and that is Tom and Jerry's 2021 movie has released a promo. This is a film that is due to be released in 2021, where an animated Tom and Jerry are roaming wild in a live-action environment. The promo is available to watch on the Warner Brothers Argentina Twitter account, and it's just a simple promo that doesn't show any scenes from the actual movie, but they have just filmed it just to make people aware that this film is being released. One big thing that I have to say is that I do not like the animation style that has been used for this promo at all. Hopefully this is not what the final animation looks like, and it is still being worked on, as this is only being used just as promotional material. But I do not think Tom and Jerry are characters that would work better in a live action environment. I don't think we need this to be set in the live action world, especially if the characters themselves do not look live action. I just don't understand what that adds to an animated environment, that what that adds to the real world that an animated environment couldn't do better. I feel like the exception to the rule are films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam, where the films acknowledge that these characters are crossing over from their cartoon world into our world. But, so far it looks like Tom and Jerry are actually meant to be part of the real world in the film, and the people in the film just treat them like normal animals, like these are the animals they see every day. So it seems to indicate that all the animals in their world are just cartoons to us. But for me, that's just really distracting, especially with the animation in this promo not blending in that well with the real world shots. So again, I hope it's just that they've just kind of rushed this out to make it an announcement that this film is coming out. It's just I don't know, it just doesn't blend well. So I'm hoping that it's because it's not actually an accurate representation to what the animation will look like in the actual film. Overall, to me, this looks just like a really rushed and generic promo. So it isn't really something that's hitting my nostalgia for these characters at all. However, after I tweeted about the promo on my Twitter account, CloudBoyVids, I was contacted by a big Tom and Jerry fan called Froggy, and you can follow him on Twitter at MrFroggyFrog98. I will leave a link to his Twitter and YouTube channel in the description below, so please check him out. But Froggy was cool enough to show me leaked footage of the official French Tom and Jerry trailer that has been leaked, and he was just showing me through this leaked footage what the tone of the film would look like, what the animation style would look like in a live action setting, and he's just basically trying to reassure me that this film does look like it has potential to be good. And after watching this leaked footage he sent me, which is only about half of the trailer that was leaked, it actually doesn't look too bad at all. Obviously, I'm still holding my official thoughts until the full English trailer is officially released online, so I can watch the trailer as the studio intended. But nonetheless, from what I could see of that leaked footage, it did seem to have potential. I won't spoil for you guys what I saw in the trailer and who's starring in it, because I didn't know any of these details, and I think that they were quite a nice surprise. But I'm glad that so far, until we've seen the trailer officially released online, I'm glad to see that the promo for the Tom and Jerry live action film doesn't seem to be a representation of the final animation style. So I'm feeling a bit more optimistic about it now. But only time will tell, as the trailer will likely be released. It's probably going to be released after I've recorded and uploaded this podcast. So after I've recorded the podcast, but before I've uploaded it. So the chances are I'm not going to be able to talk about it till next week. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've seen the promo, did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's a representation of what the animation will look like? Or do you think it's just the animation, the actual film will look way better? And are you excited for this movie? Do you want to see Tom and Jerry as animated characters in a live action setting? Let's move on to topic number 7. Seth Rogen is producing a horror film. The horror film Seth Rogen is producing is called Video Nasty, and it focuses on 3 teens who are actually sucked into an 80s slasher movie. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about this piece of news, to be honest. It doesn't sound bad, it just sounds fine. I mean, even though Seth Rogen isn't acting in this, the fact that he's attached as a producer still intrigues me, as, you know, he's produced films such as Superbad, which have a big fan base, so who knows, this could be something special, but there's just not much to go off from this premise alone. But what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of a movie set in an 80s slasher movie? Let me know, I'd be curious to hear that. Now let's move on to topic number 8, which is the release date of Jordan Peele's next horror movie has been announced. It has been announced that we can expect to see Jordan Peele's next film to be released on July 22nd, 2022. Now, if you don't know who Jordan Peele is, this will mean nothing to you, but if you do know who he is, then this is potentially very exciting news, as he is one of the big names currently in directing horror movies. He wrote and directed the Oscar-winning movie Get Out, which was released in 2017, and he also wrote and directed the 2019 movie Us. For me, Get Out was the better crafted movie of the two that I just mentioned, but I do think that Us was the more fun and genuinely unsettling movie that always creeps me out. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele as a filmmaker, and I honestly cannot wait to see what he brings to his third film in a year that hopefully will feel a lot more normal compared to 2020. What do you guys think? Are you excited to hear that Jordan Peele's next movie will be released in 2022? And what kind of subject matters do you hope he'll tackle in his horror movie? Let's move on to topic number 9, which is Sharkboy and Lavagirl 2. Yep, you've heard it. Netflix is going to be releasing a Sharkboy and Lavagirl spin-off film on New Year's Day called We Can Be Heroes, where Earth's superheroes have been kidnapped by alien invaders, and as a result, the heroes' children will have to team up and save their parents as well as the world. The director and creator of Sharkboy and Lavagirl, Robert Rodriguez, has described this film as a spiritual sequel to Sharkboy and Lavagirl, so this is more likely going to be a spin-off to the original film rather than a direct sequel, as it's set in the same world but it will focus on different characters. Having said that, it does sound like a very similar plot to the original Spy Kids, where the kids have to step up and rescue their kidnapped parents, except instead of them being spies, they're going to be superheroes. We do have official first look photos at the movie, which I have tweeted at CloudBoyVids. Link will be in the description below, where we can see images of the villains of the film. We can also see the superheroes that will be getting kidnapped. We can see the team of children that will have to save the day. And a very interesting photo of one superhero in particular getting attacked by a machine with arms that look very similar to the arms of a villain called Mr. Electric from the original Sharkboy and Lavagirl. So maybe that's a tease that he'll come back for this film. I would be very happy to see him appear again to tie these movies together, as I always found him very entertaining as a kid. But I'll admit that I haven't seen Sharkboy and Lavagirl in a long time, so I am a little confused at how this world works. From what I remember, the original Sharkboy and Lavagirl movie is about a boy called Max who dreams all of this up, so I wasn't really sure if the characters of Sharkboy and Lavagirl really did exist in his world, or if they were indeed just imaginary friends. I guess this spin-off confirms that Sharkboy and Lavagirl did really exist, as one of the children in the team photo released are said to be the child of an older Sharkboy and Lavagirl, which would indicate to me that Sharkboy and Lavagirl may also be getting kidnapped as well. So if that's true, then I guess Max from the original film technically has the superpower to dream things up into the real world. It's still a little confusing for me, but I'm sure this spin-off will clear some things up regarding how the world works. If I'm missing something, I'd really appreciate it if someone could clarify how the world works, as this it really has been a long time since I saw the original film. Overall, I think it'll be a cool way to start 2021, so I'll definitely be curious enough to check it out on Netflix on New Year's Day. But what do you guys think? Are you excited to see this film? How does the film work? Could someone clarify that for me? Just let me know. That's all my thoughts, so thank you so much for listening to my opinions on these topics. Like and share to support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date with all my movie talk, and if you'd like to support the channel even more, then please check out the link in the description below to the Undecided's latest single called Take It Off, available on iTunes as well as many other digital platforms. Until next time, stay safe and take care.